How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a great day so far. Today, we are going to be talking about the 2024 NBA offseason and who the biggest winners and losers are so far. We're not even 48 hours into free agency, and we've already seen players like Paul George and Klay Thompson get moved to other teams. So we're going to be talking about those players and the teams they went to and how it affects them in this upcoming NBA season. We'll also talk about the Blazers a bit and the moves that they have made and what we can look forward to in the coming days. If you do want to support the video, please consider subscribing and liking the video and commenting below letting me know what you think. And with that out of the way, let's get right into it. Before we get into the biggest winners and losers of this free agency, I want to talk about your Portland Trailblazers. The Trailblazers so far have not been very active in free agency, but I don't think that comes as a surprise to anyone. The Blazers are a young, rebuilding team with not a lot of cap space, so I don't think they were ever really in the market for any of the big free agents this year. However, they have made a couple of small moves so far. They picked up the option on Delano Banton, which guarantees him $200,000 of his $2.2 million salary, and then if he makes the opening night roster in October, he will get guaranteed half of that. So he'll get a guaranteed $1.1 million, and then if he's on the team through the guaranteed date in January of 2025, then he will get the rest of his salary. Now, Delano Banton was a guy who came to the Trailblazers on this past trade deadline in February, but has been an interesting player so far, as since he came to the Trailblazers, he played 30 games and averaged 16.7 points, 4.8 rebounds, and 3.6 assists on 40.8% from the field and 31.1% from three. And he averaged a career high 29 minutes during that stretch. Now, when Delano Banton came to the Trailblazers, he fit a role that was much needed and isn't a role he'd likely get in upcoming seasons. So I'll be very interested to see how the Blazers handle him and play him in this upcoming year. The Trailblazers also re-signed Justin Minaya to a two-way contract. Now, Justin Minaya didn't really do much last year for the Trailblazers. He's 25 years old and only averaged 1.8 points last year, but he is familiar with the team and is on a cheap contract, so I don't mind it too much. Rumors have also been coming out about a potential Jeremy Grant trade, as Lakers insider Anthony F. Irwin reported on June 30th that the Lakers and Trailblazers have been in constant talks on a deal for Jeremy Grant. He goes on to say, "I wouldn't call it particularly imminent, but the sides have definitely been active most of today." So it seems like there's definitely potential for a Jeremy Grant to the Lakers trade, but the big question is, what would the Blazers get back? The Lakers have a total of 2 first-round picks that they're able to trade, as well as new rookie Dalton Knecht. Dalton Knecht would be a perfect fit on this Blazers team, would provide them some shooting, and if the Blazers ever do decide to move off of Anthony Simons, he would definitely help make up for some of his skill set. Make sure to comment below and let me know what a trade centered around Jeremy Grant to the Lakers would look like and what you would want to get back if you're a Blazer fan. Slightly before free agency, but the Blazers also traded for Eni Avdia. I made a whole video on that, so if you go to my channel, you can find it there, or I'll link it in the description. But to sum it up, I think that was a huge win for the Blazers, and overall, from the draft to now, I think the Blazers have done pretty well, and I would give them a W. Now moving into the biggest winners and losers of this free agency over the last couple of days. Starting off in the winners category, the Philadelphia 76ers. Philadelphia has done great so far this offseason and has hopes of contending next year. They re-signed Tyrese Maxey as well as Kelly Oubre Jr., but the biggest splash they've made so far this offseason was signing Paul George. Reports were going on for quite a while that Paul George and the Clippers were having a hard time coming together and finding an agreement on a potential extension for him, but it seems like Paul George had enough and he wants a chance to win. As we know, this Philadelphia team has been struggling to even break the conference finals, but with Paul George, it really puts them into contender status. And considering where Philadelphia was at in previous seasons, and now adding Paul George and only losing Tobias Harris, I think they really have a shot to make it far next season. Another big winner this offseason has been the New York Knicks. They gave up a hefty package, but acquired Mikal Bridges from the Brooklyn Nets. It's obvious that New York is in a win-now mode and hoping that Mikal can push them over the edge and hopefully they can make it to the conference finals or even the finals. One of the biggest losers of the offseason so far, in my opinion, though, has to be the Golden State Warriors. They lost Klay Thompson for essentially 2 second-round picks. There were reports that they wanted to trade for Paul George, but didn't want to include Jonathan Kuminga in the package. Reports have since come out that they want to trade for Lauri Markkanen, so it'll be interesting to see how they pivot. But when you lose a franchise cornerstone like Klay Thompson and barely get anything back for him, that has to put you in the losers category. However, if I were to make an updated video a week from now, they may be in the winners category if they're able to land Lauri Markkanen. Another loser of the offseason so far has to be the Los Angeles Clippers. The Paul George and Kawhi Leonard pairing seemed to not work. From injury concerns to lack of talent on the team, they just couldn't bring home a championship to the Clippers. And so far this offseason, they were unable to re-sign Paul George. They re-signed James Harden on a max contract, and reports have come out that they are actively looking for a Russell Westbrook trade. All in all, considering that they weren't able to compete this last season and losing one of your stars in Paul George and Westbrook leaving, I don't think they're going to be in a position to contend anytime soon. Kawhi Leonard and James Harden are also a bit on the older side, and so I really doubt they'll be competing in the playoffs anytime soon. Back over to the winners category, I think the Oklahoma City Thunder have been a huge win so far this offseason. They were able to trade Josh Giddey straight up for Alex Caruso, which is an absolute steal if you're Oklahoma City. Alex Caruso is one of the best on-ball guard defenders in the league and slides in perfect next to SGA and J-Dub in the backcourt. OKC also went out and picked up Isaiah Hartenstein in free agency. So having a 7-foot defensive-minded backup center next to Chet Holmgren is going to be amazing for them. And finally, a couple smaller winners, but still in the winners category nonetheless, are the Dallas Mavericks, specifically because they signed Klay Thompson, the Brooklyn Nets because they finally picked a direction. They blew it up, they traded Mikal Bridges, got a bunch of their first-round picks back from the Rockets, and have finally embraced the rebuild that we've all been hoping they choose. And then finally, the San Antonio Spurs, they signed Chris Paul on a one-year deal, and I think he is perfect on the Spurs to help mentor both Victor Wembanyama as well as their rookie guard, Stephon Castle. One final loser before we end the video, in my opinion, is the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets had a great run to win a championship in 2022, but then fell short this last season, losing to Minnesota. And now this offseason, they were looking to hopefully upgrade their roster a bit, but instead, so far, have only lost KCP to Orlando, who is a key part in their rotation. I'll be very interested to watch what the Nuggets do the rest of this offseason, who they trade for, and what other moves they make, because it seems like they still have championship aspirations with Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Aaron Gordon on the team. I appreciate you guys watching this video. Please make sure to comment below. Let me know who you think were the biggest winners and losers of the offseason have been so far, and let me know what you want to see in the next video. I'll hopefully be uploading at least 2 to 3 videos a week centered around the NBA and the Trailblazers all together. And again, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, as I do try to put a lot of effort into these videos and I would greatly appreciate it. But with that being said, that's all I got for you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and with that said, I'm out. See you later.